Thank you for joining us, everyone, to my channel, Life Under the Disc. We're sitting here in a camp in the middle of the Pilbara Desert, and one of my colleagues has generously decided he's happy to be interviewed. He's one of my pilots that works for the company HeliWest, and his name's Robert Brown. And yeah, just want to thank you for joining me in this venture we're having a look at.
Thanks for having us on.
No worries. One thing I'd just like to mention quickly is thanks for watching, everyone. And if you could just reach over and press the like button, which is somewhere there or over there, it does make a big difference for the channel. And while we're talking, we are going to have people crossing paths behind us because we are in an active training centre. And there obviously is a flu going around with old mate blowing his nose. Okay, so the idea of this channel, everyone, is that we're talking about helicopters and what they can do for the environment and people and everything. And in this particular instance, it's about why do you want to fly? What are the motivators and what are the reasons that we're all sitting out here in the sweat and the flies and the music. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We're going to be cutting and throwing from this, but we'll get into some interesting questions about aviation, helicopter related. So yeah, what was your first helicopter ride like, and do you still remember it?
Yeah, definitely. First helicopter ride was actually my trial flight.
Right.
So up until then, never been in a helicopter.
Yeah.
A couple of mates chipped in for my 21st birthday, so I'd shown a bit of interest due to another friend getting his licence. And yeah, decided to go down, headed down to Camden, jumped in, and yeah, went for a 1 hour trial flight.
Right. So who'd you do with your trial flight in Camden?
That was with Pete Holstein at Aerowasp Helicopters.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, jumped in with him and yeah, went for an hour and yeah, got the full brief beforehand about what does what, and you know, cyclic does this, collective does that, pedals do this, and yeah, went and got some good hands-on experience to decide if it's something I was really keen on pursuing.
And during the trial instructional flight, is that exactly what it means, an instructional flight, where you got to actually fly it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so they sort of give you the big brief before, show you what each control does, take you over to the machine, you have a look at that, have a sit in it. Yeah, push it outside, fuel it up, and off you go. And yeah, get a go of each of the controls one by one.
And is this a common thing people can do?
100%. Yeah, it's the best way to get into it, best way to decide if you even like it. You know, it's one thing going for a ride as a passenger, which I kind of skipped that step. But yeah, awesome for people if they're keen on getting into it. You know, get to have an actual go on the sticks and see if it's something they actually feel like investing their money into.
Yeah, no, that's a really good thing to know about. And I guess if anyone's interested, they just got to get onto their local flying school and they could organise something the same.
Yeah, every flying school offers them and that. And 100% recommend going for the 1 hour. Gives you a real good opportunity to have a good hands-on experience. Half an hour is a little bit short. By the time you sort of get airborne and get going, you don't get much time on the sticks. So yeah, 1 hour to go.
No, what a great idea. What's the strangest or most unexpected thing you've done in a helicopter?
Oh, there's quite a few.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did a few years of tourism, so I got to go and land at some pretty awesome places along some river systems, going fishing, places where probably no man stepped in a good few thousand years, or fished for a good few thousand years even. All the way through to heli stringing. That was something that's pretty rare around the world.
What's heli stringing?
So heli stringing is where building new power lines.
Right.
You use the helicopter.
That's important this day and age with all the
right.
green new age we're in.
Yep. Yeah, so you actually use the helicopter to pull draw wire and or conductor or earth wire.
Yep. What's the draw wire?
So draw wire is like a 13mm steel cable.
Yep.
You attach it onto a short line out the side of the helicopter.
Oh, I got you. Yep.
And yeah, more or less side pull through and drop it into some rollers on each structure, and gets to the other end. The guys hook it up to a big winch and pull the main wires through that run the electricity through to your house. Yeah. So it's quite a surreal experience, very awkward and interesting position to be flying in. Yeah. High demand of concentration.
Yes.
But yeah, very rewarding at the end of it. You really get a sense of achievement when the projects start coming together.
No, that's fantastic. And you mentioned you did some fishing up at I assume the top end of Australia,
Yeah, up in the Kimberley.
the Kimberley. Okay, and whereabouts? And what were you doing up there?
So first job was tourism. So
Yep.
I was originally based out of the Bungle for Heli Spirit.
Okay.
Moved along, moved over to El Questro Station and was running the tourism flights out of there.
Wow.
And yeah, it could be anything from a waterfall picnic where you take people out, they get to enjoy a waterfall for 2 to 3 hours, fly them back, they have a nice picnic and that.
Yeah.
Or you can even go out early morning and you go for half a day's heli fishing. So
Wow.
take people out to some pretty remote sites, inaccessible by vehicles.
Yes.
And yeah, go for a fish. So some people are lucky and catch 60 or 70 fish in a day.
Wow.
Some people are unlucky and you might get one dirty catfish off the bottom
Yeah.
if you're lucky.
That's fantastic. If you reflect on when you speak to people about your job, do you think most people understand what your job actually entails?
Good question. Depends on who you talk to.
Yes.
Some people who have sort of listened along the way, along the journey, they sort of understand what's going on. You meet new people and they kind of, you explain to them what we do with helicopters and what you can do with helicopters, and they're a little bit bewildered and
Yes.
they kind of find it a little bit weird, but also very interesting. A lot of
Yeah.
people find our job quite interesting. So yeah, no, it's good having a chat with people, and I've got a lot of mates that sort of follow along with where we're at and what we're doing, and yeah, helicopters are a bit of an unknown to a lot of people around the world. Aeroplanes are one thing because everyone knows you fly to the Gold Coast or Brisbane or Sydney or whatever and you jump on a big aeroplane, but when it comes to helicopters, a little bit lost.
Yeah, that's good stuff. What's one moment in the cockpit or the hangar that changed how you saw your job forever?
Getting the opportunity to do power line work.
Wow.
It was something that I never expected to do. It's a very niche market, and I was just lucky enough to get picked up as a ground crew for Meridian Helicopters, and started off there. Did about 18 months on the ground, bit of ferry flight here and there, and then was lucky enough to get put in the hot seat, and
Yeah.
a whole different range of skill set.
Wow. Whereabouts is Meridian Helicopters?
So Meridian Helicopters is based in Townsville.
Yep.
Up
What
in
sort of
North
operation have they got?
Mainly power lines. They run
Yep.
Squirrels, AS350s, EC135s, BO105s, and more recently they got Bell 429s.
Wow.
So
What
quite
are
a
they
wide
doing?
range
What are
of
they doing
aircraft.
with the 429s?
429s is for the Queensland or North Queensland Police contract.
Oh, very good.
So that was after my time there.
Yep.
But quite a big advancement in technology,
Yes.
especially for North Queensland. So
That's fantastic. It sounds like you had a good opportunity there and you grasped it with both hands. And
it was great.
went for
Really
it.
enjoyed it. Got
Yeah.
some really great opportunities. Learned a heap of amazing skills,
Yes.
which I definitely feel made me more of a conscientious pilot. Outside and inside the cockpit.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a great chance for advancement and great opportunity.
Oh, that's great. Obviously, Rob, you've flown a lot, but do you remember your very first solo flight and what went through your head?
Very first solo flight, yeah. Vaguely remember it,
Yes.
not in all detail, but that was at Camden Airport.
Right.
Boris was my instructor,
Boris?
fairly sure. And it was more
What's
or less
Boris's surname?
Boris Yaksik.
Okay.
So unfortunately, he doesn't fly anymore.
Yes.
But yeah, still keeping in contact with him
That's
somewhat
excellent.
regularly.
Yep.
And land at the helipad at Camden Airport, and next thing you know, he's like, righto, first solo, off you go.
Right.
So
And what was going through your head at that point?
don't stuff it up.
Okay.
That's probably the best way to say it, or the most polite way to say it.
Yes.
But it was just, he gave me a quick brief. The machine's going to pick up differently, your centre of gravity is different, so just take it easy.
Yeah.
Nice and slow, one circuit, that's all you need to worry about. Do your checks, do your radio calls like you have done for all the other circuits you've done
Yes.
with us. Nothing's different. You've just got one less person on board the aircraft.
Yeah.
So went out and did that. The first pickup was super awkward.
Yes.
Your different centre of gravity. You're much more weighted backwards because you don't have as much weight in the forward of the aircraft. So picked it up off the ground, felt really awkward. Did the circuit, came back, and got the handshake at the end of it. So that was pretty cool.
That's fantastic, and that's an amazing experience. I remember my first solo, and just the when they say, okay, you're good to go, it's quite a thrill.
Yep, sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's just onwards from there.
Yeah.
It's great confidence build once you
It
get to
is.
that stage that
Yeah.
they're willing to let you loose on your own.
No, it's fantastic. Leading into that is the question I like to ask is, what's the one thing they don't teach you in flight school that every new pilot should know?
They maybe don't say it so much in flight school, but from the moment you walk in that door, that's your job interview.
Yes.
And it's more what other pilots tell you or mentors tell you along the way. From the moment you meet that instructor or any flight school, doesn't matter if it's the one you're going to train at or one you're just consulting, or, asking questions, it's always appear professional, show up ready, and be a good person. Because leaps and bounds down the track. That's what helps you get your first job, your second job, and so on.
Yeah, that's so critical. Appearance, or giving the appearance of being ready to go to work,
Yep,
is super important, because you're about to hop into multi-million-dollar flying machines.
that's right.
And you'd imagine if you had a Lamborghini hire company, you'd only employ people that would look after your assets in the right way.
Exactly.
It's exactly the same as helicopters.
Yep, a lot of money invested in it and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So they want someone who's going to do the right thing and look after the gear.
Yeah. No, that's excellent. Have you ever had a moment in the air when you thought, this is it? What happened next?
As in, what's coming next? Like, how can it get any better?
Whatever you want to, however you want to take.
You read that one again?
Have you ever had a moment in the air when you thought, this is it? What happened next?
Yeah, definitely. There's always a constant thought about, you get to a certain stage in your career and what's your next step?
Yes.
What's your next move? What do you want to do?
Yep.
Everyone's got a different career path. Some people want to go back and be an instructor, for instance. That's their dream. Other people, they want to get into external load, long line work. They want to get into power lines. They want to get into emergency medical services. Everyone's got kind of a pathway, but you kind of don't know where you want to be until you start flying.
That's right.
I had a big aim for EMS from the get-go.
Yes.
And then once I stepped into that power line side of things, it just gave me a whole different view on the industry.
It changed you, yeah.
And
that was that big change you mentioned before. It really did change you then.
That's right, yeah.
That's
yeah,
a severe
exactly
change.
right.
If you had the same your whole way through your career, you saved the money to get your license, you did it, you had that first trial instructional flight, and suddenly you're pulling an APG power line sideways across the paddock, and that's a life-changing moment.
That's right, yeah.
And you're there,
Yep.
you are, you're not flying a 429 rescue machine in a straight line there and there.
Yep.
You're in the world making stuff. And when
That's
you
right.
finish
Yep.
the day, there's the product.
Yep.
You fly away, you say, geez, I put that power line in.
And I think a bit of that probably comes down to, I've got a trade background as a refrigeration air conditioning technician.
Okay.
So I think that being involved in the construction side of that through my apprenticeship and 4 years post-trade as well,
Yeah,
just getting to see the finished product
yeah,
was possibly something to do with that that enjoyment of the power line side of things.
yeah,
No doubt EMS is on the horizon at some point in time,
for sure.
but not at the same stage that I was sort of aiming to get into before.
It's definitely this sort of industry where you never know what's coming next.
Exactly right.
You never know when it's the last time you've flown that particular task.
Yep,
You never know. Yeah.
exactly. Never thought I'd be in the Pilbara either, but here we are.
Here we are. For our overseas listeners and watchers, because just for a heads up, everyone listening and watching, I'll be doing a podcast of this as well. So as you're driving down in the city there and you're wondering what you're going to do with your life, and you do want to be a helicopter pilot, trust me, we'll have to watch this on YouTube or YouTube podcasts. And just remember to hit that subscribe button, because as I said before, it does make a huge difference. But in terms of the Australian context of aviation, what do you think is unique about flying or maintaining helicopters in Australia?
It's, after talking to people over in the United States or friends in Europe, Canada, anything like that, Australia's got its own unique challenges from a pilot's perspective, an engineer's perspective, a company's perspective. There's a lot of Australia that's quite remote. It's where we are now. We're out in the middle, more or less on the edge of the desert. In the next part of the desert, and there's not a whole lot around you. There's no help 5 minutes away to come and pick you up if you've got a problem. So it's a lot of forward planning, a lot of assessing situations continually, not just at the start of a 10-day job, for instance.
Yeah.
It's a lot of thinking ahead and making sure that you do everything as safely as possible. You look at other places around the world, Europe, America, Canada. There's Canada not so much, but yeah, America. There's towns fairly close by that you can at least get a bit of help from.
That's right.
It may not be aviation-based help, but it's something.
That's right.
Whereas here, you could fly for 100 miles in any direction,
And there's nothing.
You'd be lucky to see a water tank along the way.
There's absolutely nothing. Coming back into the Pilbara has just reminded me how vast this country is.
That's right. Yeah.
The big sky country, it really is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Big sky. Big rivers, big everything. They're all dry rivers, but they're big rivers.
Not much water around.
Yeah. We were just commenting today as we were flying around when I saw that marsupial was the first small marsupial I've seen from the air since I've been here.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely nothing.
Yeah, you're lucky to see a couple of camels or a kangaroo once every second or third swing that you're on. Yeah.
You have to tell me your best camel stories, soon. I'm sure you've got some good ones. You've travelled a lot around Australia and flown a lot around Australia. But what's your favourite part of the country to work in? But also, what is the toughest?
Favourite part of the country, I'd have to say, is the Kimberley.
Okay.
It's pretty picturesque. There's waterfalls all year round in most parts of it. All
stunning.
Somewhat accessible by helicopter. If you can't land right next to it, you're not generally too far away.
Amazing.
I guess everywhere's got its own beauty though. The Pilbara, the landscape up here, over the course of a couple of 100 mile, you've got 3 or 4 different habitats and landscapes. And then you get up to Queensland, North Queensland, same thing. Fairly large mountain ranges, so they bring in their own little challenges, but beautiful countryside.
Yeah.
Same deal, South Australia. I spent a lot of time around South Australia, and again, it's got the Adelaide Hills running all the way through up to the back of Port Augusta.
Yeah.
And
I've heard there's some good wineries down in South Australia too.
There is. Yep, definitely depends on where you end up, but sometimes you're lucky enough to land nearby for a night's accommodation somewhere along the way.
Excellent.
But most challenging environment to operate in would either be up here in the Pilbara. Even though the weather's nice all year round, it brings in that hidden danger. Just being remote, it's dry, it's hot every day.
Hot. What sort of temperatures have you suffered?
The coldest I've had up here is probably only about 3 or 4 degrees.
Yes.
But you're maxing out still in the middle of winter at 25 to 30 degrees.
Yes.
The Kimberley was, I think the coldest I ever had was -4. But through to 40 degrees during the day.
How hot in the Pilbara have you had?
How, sorry?
How hot in the Pilbara have
Hottest
you had?
in the Pilbara I've had was probably about 47 or 48 degrees on the ground. Now that's a lot of radiant heat in that because iron ore country, it builds a lot of heat in the ground. But still, that's, you're flying around, the poor aircon struggling if you're lucky enough to have it in the machine.
Yeah. What does the heat do to the aircraft, do you think?
Performance-wise, degrades the performance quite significantly.
Yeah.
They're designed...
That's the difficulty of working in Australia, is the heat and the performance.
That's right. They're designed to operate in Europe.
Yes.
Europe kind of conditions, 15 degrees or so all day, every day, and we're here operating them at 3 times that, through the middle of summer. So it's a lot of calculating, a lot of thought process goes into a lot of things, whilst like an AS350 is a super capable aircraft.
Is that what you're predominantly flying at
That's
the moment?
predominantly what we're flying at the moment up here for HeliWest.
Yes.
But still a lot of thought has to go into that depending on what variant of that aircraft you're in, will depend on how much power, and then just what kind of area you're flying into. If it's a big open area, you've got a lot, a lot easier approaches, a lot less power required, but sometimes you're going into some quite deep gorges. So.
We do, I'll put some pictures of the gorges up during this conversation too, and some locations for everyone to see where we are, and you'll appreciate some of the size of the gorges we fly into, and how beautiful they are.
Yeah, definitely.
So one of my interests, or sort of caught my attention lately, is the state of the helicopter industry in Australia at the moment. And what do you think is the future of helicopters in Australia, and are we doing enough to support the next generation?
I think the industry is on a positive, somewhat. It's sort of meandered around quite a lot the last few years. But hopefully with a lot of big projects kicking off, there's a lot of big energy projects happening at the moment with renewables.
Yes.
So that's definitely bringing a lot more companies on board, getting involved with that, which is great. I guess in terms of using helicopters in Australia, we probably don't use them as much as we could.
Yeah.
They're a great way to access areas with the lowest environmental impact possible.
Yes.
Yes, they burn fuel and all that kind of thing, but it's better than a bulldozer having to run 20, 30, 40 kilometres of track in,
Yeah.
which takes months.
An example of that is the job we're both on now, which
Yeah.
is a helicopter portable diamond drill rig. And you can, like you're saying, the benefits to what we're doing, as opposed to running a bulldozer through the bush to drill a hole for water monitoring, which is part of our environmental requirements. It's uncalculable how much saving there is in that.
Yeah, and when you see what some of the spots we're going into as well, just to get a road there, it's not as simple as, First Street to Second Street in town. It's up and down,
Mountains.
1,000-foot gradients over a very short distance.
Yes.
Across the
There'd be
ground.
switchbacks everywhere down the side of the mountain range.
That's right. So
it'd be
lots of
amazing.
extra dirt brought in, lots of environmental impact. So yeah, it's definitely great for that aspect. And then even just the monitoring after the fact as well. You're not having guys spend hours driving around.
Yeah.
Quick hop out to each of the sites and you got a job done in half the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, even just tourism's great in Australia. It's an awesome way to see the place. So
It is.
it's just a matter of utilising it and people making the most of that, and the public getting out and about and getting involved with it as well. Because the more demand there is, the more opportunity there is for the next generation. And as you said there, asking about how can we help the next generation.
Yes.
It's just that the mentoring.
Yeah.
Some of the older guys just getting involved, or the younger guys keen on getting involved in it, getting in touch with pilots already in the industry,
Yeah.
and those pilots not getting funny about it and worrying that they're going to steal their job.
Yeah.
They're not.
Do you
going to
find that's the issue with the older pilots in the industry?
Not really, but I think there's a lot of worry from the younger guys that the older guys are going to stay in it, for past the career that the younger guy might even have. But career progression happens, and companies are keen to train up the next person. Whilst the work isn't huge in Australia to kind of develop that, there are definitely opportunities, and it's just a matter of being persistent. And sometimes it's right place at right time, but a lot of it's just the right attitude.
What sort of work are you referring to there, and like a long line lifting?
Yeah,
and
long
stuff?
line lifting like what we're doing now. Like this job that we're on now is a great opportunity for some of us guys that don't have a heap of long line experience to develop that and progress ourselves more up towards your level, to be able to start running those kind of projects on our own.
It's fantastic.
So yeah, there's progression there. It's the matter of the right attitude from everyone,
Yeah.
not just from the new pilot, but it's from the person walking in the flight school's door, all the way through to passing on that knowledge to the next generation. So
Yeah.
it's not just a one-way street.
Yeah, it definitely needs more conversation amongst all of the pilots to sort of get the next level of mentoring happening,
Yeah.
and to remove that level of fear that there seems to be in the Australian helicopter industry about people taking their jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'd like to see some improvement on that side of things, and get some of the older pilots to maybe put their knives down and open their hearts and their minds to the younger pilots.
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
another good step. There's definitely a few standoffish people out there.
Yeah, and a lot of the knives out stuff also comes from people being worried about someone taking their job, and if you're at that
That's right.
stage of worrying about it, there's maybe a reason why you should be worried about it. So
Exactly,
you know,
yeah.
it comes down to that whole attitude
Yeah.
thing from the start.
Yeah. Well, on to a more fun topic. What's one insider trick or hack every helicopter pilot knows but never talks about?
Looking after your machine.
Yep.
If you look after it, it'll look after you.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things. If you spot anything that's not right and you're not comfortable with it, you need to make that call.
Yeah.
Whether it be engineering or operations or even just your clients on the job. If there's something that you're not happy with, regardless, it could be at your pre-start in the morning, it could be on approach to your first landing site, it could be taken off at your last landing site for the day. There's so many different factors involved in our day. Things change at the flick of a switch. You could be out there most of the day in blue skies, and then a massive storm rolls in the afternoon during summer.
Yeah, weather plays a part for sure.
For sure.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Or dust storms out here.
That's right. Yeah.
Have you ever had a no one's going to believe this moment in your life? in regards to flying helicopters?
Yeah, probably just getting my license in the first place. You know, it's nothing that nothing I ever grew up planning to do or anything like that.
Yes.
It was kind of a mate of mine did his license, or he did his fixed wing license first through Scouts,
Yes.
and then went over to the US, did his rotary wing, so helicopter private license.
Yep.
And then, yeah, that's where just started to show interest because I wanted the next challenge.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do something new.
Yeah.
So, yeah, next thing you know, here I am getting some hours up doing my private license.
All
Everyone's
right.
like, well, where did that come from? What are you doing? So,
Do you know if the Air Scouts are still running?
Scouts are still going.
Yeah.
Scouts Aviation, I'm not quite sure about.
Yeah.
I'd say it definitely is though. It wouldn't surprise me. If it did shut down, it would surprise me actually.
Yeah.
But that was a great opportunity. You know, there's gliding. There's I think my mate did
Excuse the reversing truck here, everyone.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're in a training centre.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a great opportunity, a great way to get into it. Same with cadets and all that kind of thing. Like, not necessarily helicopters, but
Yeah, aviation.
flying is flying.
Yep, that's awesome. So we're getting to the end of our little story time here, but you know, one of the questions we've got to ask ourselves is, why do you keep doing it? After all the long days, heat, dust and pressure, why do you keep wanting to be the chopper pilot?
It's better than sitting in an office. You know, every day is different. I think that's my biggest thing. You know, you might be up somewhere like where we are now, up in the Pilbara. You might be at the same site for 10 days, but not every day that 10 days is the same.
Yeah.
There's, you know, you get the odd groundhog day, waking up, you know, 4:30 in the morning or something like that. But shy of that, everything's different. The weather's different. The people
Yeah.
are different. The aircraft flies different.
Yeah.
What you're doing that day is a little bit different.
Yeah. So if you're one of the people sitting in an office right now, you know, just start looking up helicopter flight schools and book your trial instructional flight. You won't regret it.
No, definitely not. No.
Advice both of us can give there, I think.
Every day getting to stare out the window is pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good office we're in.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone just starting out in helicopters in Australia?
Best thing you can do, go and get your trial flight done, like we spoke about
Yes.
earlier. Then go and get your medical done.
Yes.
So we have to pass a Class 2 or Class 1 medical to be able to get our licences. Depending on what industry you lead into will depend on whether you need a Class 2 or a Class 1.
Yeah.
Go and get that sorted out. That's your big ticket. You don't want to go and invest money before you have that medical done, because if they decline it, it's lost time, lost money.
Last time, yeah. Well, that's great
So
advice, yeah.
definitely aim for that. Aim for your theory subjects and start ticking away at the flying as you go.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
the best part.
The medical is a super critical thing.
Yeah.
What does life under the disc mean for you?
Just being out and about every day.
Yeah.
You know, the moment your job becomes a job and becomes a hassle, then it's no longer enjoyable. What we do, yeah, as I said, you get that odd groundhog day here or there, but for the most part, it's pretty awesome just being out and about. You could have a day where you fly 8 hours, or you could have a day where you fly less than one.
Yeah.
You're sitting out reading a book out in the middle of the bush somewhere, half asleep next to a waterfall maybe, having a picnic lunch with some people out next to a river,
Yeah.
pulling a power line. Like,
Yeah.
everything's different, everything's fun.
Yep.
It's just nice to be out and about, not stuck in the city all the time, I guess. That's
Yeah.
probably one of my big things.
It's the freedom.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. We're free birds flying helicopters, that's what it's about.
For sure.
Yeah.
Always enjoyable.
Well, thanks very much, Rob, for your chat, and catch you during work hours and
Yeah,
all
for
that
sure.
stuff. Have a quick chat about what helicopters are and how important they are to both of us, I guess, and how we can sort of motivate the next generation and help the younger pilots and even some of the older pilots
Yep.
through this. And you know, hopefully everyone starts to watch this channel and pass it on to their friends, and we'll slowly learn amongst ourselves. And yeah, this knowledge sharing is something I'm going to try and push pretty hard with Life Under the Disc.
Yep.
And mentoringship, I think we could all get better at.
Yep.
I'm certainly making a big effort now to mentor more and pass on knowledge. It's really positive and important for us all to do that. Yeah, so well, thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe up here or down there or down there. Might be over there, I'm not too sure where it goes. And yeah, welcome to the first Storytime Life Under the Disc, and we'll catch you next time.
Awesome. Thank you.